everybody, welcome to Teen Talks Back, a teen's talk show. Today we're going to be reacting to some pretty awful scenarios.
I should a follower in California reach out and let me know that her daughter had to fill out a mental health accommodation form declaring that she had a mental health issue for, get this, not wanting to share the restroom, locker room, bathroom with a boy.
What? Okay, so apparently some teen in California doesn't want to share the restroom with a boy, which I don't want to share the restroom with a boy, and she has to fill out a mental evaluation saying that she has a mental health issue because she doesn't want to share the restroom with a boy. I'm already mad, but let's keep watching.
Let that really sink in. In California, if you're a girl who doesn't want to use, a high school, middle school age girl, if you don't want to have to use the restroom next to a boy or forcibly undress next to a boy.
Forcibly undressed next to a boy? So you're saying these middle school, high school age girls are forced to be in locker rooms with boys and undress in front of biological boys, and because they don't want to, that, first of all, that's sexual harassment and sexual assault. Because they don't want to, they have to say they have a mental illness?
That makes you mentally deranged. Not the boy who wants to be in that space, the boy declaring himself to be something that he's not. No, that's totally sane, totally sound in the mind, but you are the one with a mental health issue. Here's a photo of the mental health accommodation request. You can see it right at the top. This happened in the Temecula Valley Unified School District.
Shame on you, Temecula Valley Unified School District. This is awful. This is sexual harassment and sexual assault. This is not okay.
Go ahead and give me a lobotomy. If that's the standard for being mentally deranged, is believing that girls' bathrooms are only for girls and vice versa, give me the lobotomy.
I'm 100% with Riley Gaines. This is not an okay situation, and anybody that thinks this is okay is mentally deranged. America, we need to stop letting our teenagers be sexually assaulted by other teenagers just because that boy decides he wants to be a girl or that girl decides he wants to be a boy. It's not okay, and it's not right. Okay, next clip.
Let me start this video by saying that I made the decision at 16 years old when I went to the DMV to get my license that I wanted to be an organ donor.
I made that decision too. I'm 16. I got my license when I was 15. I decided to be an organ donor. Let's see where this goes.
That if I died, my organs could go to someone who needed them, because clearly I did not anymore at that point. That being said, what is this? No.
Donor organs are too rare. We need a new definition of death. A new definition of death? What does that even mean?
What is this? Because I'm reconsidering everything. This is the New York Times saying that we should expand the definition of death. Are we crazy? Are we literally crazy? At that point, this is not organ donation. If you intend on expanding the definition of death to someone who has not yet actually died, that is called organ harvesting. Like, no.
She's 100% right. That is definitely organ harvesting.
One, regardless of your health condition, is entitled to someone else's organs. And like, that's not a hyperbole at all. Organ procurement is like a multi-billion-dollar industry, I have since come to find out. So just for summary, why do we need more organs? So people don't die. How are we going to get those organs to prevent people from dying? Well, we're going to effectively kill them. And to think that there are some people so outraged by a denim ad to say that it's eugenics when we're ignoring things like this. I have a feeling this will have the opposite effect as intended.
She's 100% right. Why are we killing people to give more people life? You know, those people who have defective organs, they have defective organs. You know, they're not any less valuable, but their time has come to an end. Why are we taking life away from other people to give life to people who already know that their life has come to an end? This is super controversial, but this is not correct. Why are we killing people to save other people? Just let people die in peace. I can't believe this even have to be said. You can't harvest people's organs to save other people. That's so illegal. That is black market stuff. Okay, so I found the article. Let's go through it. Donor organs are too rare. We need a new definition of a death. People die in many different ways, but in medicine, there are only two reasons a person can be declared dead. Either the heart has stopped or the brain has ceased to function, even if the heart is still beating, so brain dead. A person may serve as an organ donor only after being declared dead. Until then, transplant surgeons are not allowed to even interact with the dying patient. This commonsensical rule underpins organ donation in the United States and many other countries. Most donor organs today are obtained after brain death, defined by most state laws as a condition of permanent unconsciousness with no spontaneous breathing, no response to pain, and no primitive reflexes. In other words, devastation of the whole brain. Organs obtained this way are often relatively healthy because brain-dead patients can continue to circulate blood and oxygen. Brain death is rare, though in New York State, with a population of 20 million, there are an average of fewer than 500 cases suitable for organ procurement and transplantation each year. Far more often, people die because their heart has permanently stopped beating, which is known as circulatory death. However, precisely because the blood has stopped circulating, organs from people who die this way are often damaged and unsuited for transplantation. The need for donor organs is urgent. An estimated every 15 people die in this country every day waiting for a transplant. We need to figure out how to obtain more healthy organs from donors while maintaining strict ethical standards. New technologies can help, but the best solution we believe is legal. We need to broaden the definition of death. Consider how things currently work in the procedure known as donation after circulatory death. A typical donor is an irreversible coma from, say, a drug overdose or massive cerebral hemorrhage, and the heart is beating only because of life support. The donor is not legally brain dead. He or she might, say, have a gag reflex or other primitive functions. How is this okay? There are so many families where people do come back from these coma states that people think they're not going to. It's 100% possible, and taking their life, their persona away from their family to save somebody else's life without their family's consent is not okay. In such cases, with a blessing from the family, a donor is brought into an operating room and life support is carefully withdrawn. If, as is expected, the removal of life support supports and stoppage of the heart, surgeons will wait long enough to determine if the stoppage is permanent to be confident of death, but not so long that vital organs get damaged. The period is typically about 5 minutes and the surgeons remove the organs. They're literally killing people to harvest these organs. If the people were not on life support, and maybe they would die, but maybe in a year, a couple months, these people would come back to life, and you're just taking that chance away from them. That's not correct. But even a few minutes of a stopped heart often results in damage to the organs. This deprives potential recipients of healthy organs and thwarts the wishes of donors to have their organs used to help others. Fortunately, there is a relatively new method that can improve the efficacy of donation after circulatory death. In this procedure, which is called non-normothermic regional perfusion, doctors take an irreversibly comatose donor off life support long enough to determine that the heart has stopped beating permanently. But then the donor is placed on a machine that circulates oxygen-rich blood through the body to preserve organ function. Donor organs obtained through this procedure, which is used widely in Europe and increasingly in the United States, tend to be much healthier. But by artificially circulating the blood and oxygen, the procedure can reanimate a lifeless heart. Some doctors and ethicists find the procedure objectionable because in reversing the stoppage of the heart, it seems to nullify the reason the donor was declared dead in the first place. Is the donor no longer dead? They wonder. Yeah, I agree that maybe it is okay to take people that maybe won't come back to life and use their organs for better with the family's consent. If the family agrees, then that's fine, but killing these people and then bringing them back to life, are they even any longer considered dead? Or what are your opinions? Please let me know in the comments down below. Hope you had an amazing day, guys. I really hope you liked this episode of the channel. This is a new channel that I started because after the death of Charlie, I feel as if it's my generation's mission to uphold his legacy. So by doing this, I'm speaking out on all things that I think need to be debated. So whether you think these organ donations are a good thing or a bad thing or just total violation of people's life, let me know in the comments down below. And whether you think biological boys should be allowed in women's bathrooms and it should be okay. And if you are not okay with that, then you have a mental health issue, please let me know your stance on that in the comments down below. With that, I hope you guys had an amazing day. I hope this video brought something new into your life, and peace out.